Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and I'm here today with a comparison between the LEGO Scooby-Doo Mystery Plane Adventurer set and the Cobi Scooby-Doo Wing Walker set. Now, this is a LEGO to Cobi comparison, and you may have heard of a similar idea from another similar YouTuber, but this was something that I planned on several months ago when I bought the Cobi set before the LEGO one, so that I could do this comparison. So this is not something I've recently purchased for a quick video. This is something that I bought a while ago to look at it on its own before absorbing the LEGO version. So let's take a closer look at each of these sets right now. First thing I want to mention is that the Scooby-Doo one came out in 2015. The Cobi one that first had the license was in 2013 to 2014 roughly. I remember seeing it in stores in late 2014, but at that point it was starting to go on clearance, and I picked it up shortly after. Also around that time they had less playsets than the LEGO version, as the Cobi one I believe had 4 playsets, and not all the mystery gang was in there, but they did have a mystery bag pack series that was available separately where you could get the rest of the Scooby-Doo figures. With that out of the way, I also want to mention that the prices on these are different. I don't know the exact price of the Cobi one since I got it on clearance. You could let me know in the comments below if you have this and can verify what price it was. And this one was retailing for $20 in the United States. Just as another note, the Cobi one does not have the stickers on it. We'll get more into that later in this comparison video. So, we're going to start things off with the minifigures. Looking first at the 2 Shaggy figures. Now between the two, LEGO has a standard for making minifigures and mostly conformed to that standard, but also made it look unique. They have some good colors for making Shaggy. They made a new hair mold and new prints for him, so he does have a resemblance to Shaggy as we know him from the cartoons. Now he does kind of look a little different from the Cobi version, which does have that conformity for Cobi figures, but still does some unique angles. For example, the head is unique to Shaggy, and also the color scheme for him is also pretty unique. Yes, he does have longer sleeves, but I think it's okay to look like that. And if you notice with the feet, they are colored. They actually show the shoes colored in on the feet as opposed to LEGO. And also, if you notice with the feet, they are in different angles, not just facing forward. You still get some posability out of these 2 figures. And if you want to see more of these close up, you can check out the reviews for them in the description below. There are links to those reviews. Now, as far as the other figures from each of these sets, we have just a skeleton that's also included with Shaggy in the Cobi set. Not really, I mean, it looks interesting. I do like the design on it, even way down to the... I hate to say the bone, but it really does look great for all that detail in there, for all the sculpting that was done for this skeleton. I gotta give them credit for what they made. Although, as I'll say later on, these minifigures are something I would not recommend for a few reasons. Now, they can turn at the waist, which is pretty interesting. Unlike LEGO figures, Cobi figures can turn at the waist as well as turning at the head. These are previously, stickered on pieces from when I opened the set. So, the factory put on. You do have arm movement, but they don't bend on the elbows, and they don't bend on the knees. But, overall, they're usable figures for Cobi. And just to demonstrate again, for Shaggy, yes, he can also bend at the waist, or at least rotate at the waist. Unlike the Cobi set, though, we get Scooby-Doo in the set, which is useful because it's called Scooby-Doo as a theme. Nice to get him here, but they do have Scooby-Doo sold separately in other Cobi sets. This looks pretty good for Scooby. I would say it's a good matchup for him compared to Shaggy with his sitting position, so it's a good height to him. And we also have in this set, the actual monster for the LEGO version is the Headless Horseman, which, if you consider what I said in the review about this set, actually fits it better for what villain you get for the plain Scooby-Doo set. compared to the skeleton, which wasn't featured in the episode I was talking about in that review. There may have been other episodes with planes and Scooby-Doo involved. I personally don't know them all, but I would like to hear in the comments if you guys do know them. Now, we also have a few other accessories, such as a horse. We got the extra piece for the horse. We got the chain. Now, let's get on to the plane itself. These two planes are good and bad for different reasons. And honestly, I like them both for different things. Between the two planes, we have the basic color scheme established. A bluish color scheme with lime green. Now, between them, yes, the blues and greens are a little bit different between the two planes. It's not the same exact lime green or azure or turquoise that's used between them, but it's respectable for Scooby-Doo colors. It's something that you could easily recognize and say, hey, that looks like it might be from Scooby-Doo, or something resembling Scooby-Doo. So that's not a bad thing. Now, stickers-wise, you got several stickers that are in the Lego version of the plane. A count of about 7 stickers, if I remember correctly. And on the Cobi plane, you get, it looks like 9 stickers on here. And the reason why I didn't attach these onto that plane, though, other than it looks good without the stickers on it, is that the stickers used for this set usually overlap areas. You see the ones that say SDWW? Well, those would normally overlap here, where there are a lot of pieces put together. And personally, as a building enthusiast, I do not want to hold a bunch of pieces together just for that purpose. Also, some of the Scooby-Doo logos are put on the back of the tail, so it's, again, having that effect of holding the stickers, or holding the pieces together with the stickers. Something I personally am not willing to do. You also fit a few stickers on top. Now, between the two, there are actually some sizable differences. First of all, the size. I mean, look at that. Which one would you believe better as a plane? Or as a biplane, rather? Now, granted, I am not an aviation enthusiast. I am not familiar with planes or how planes work or how they're sized. But I just think that this one looks a lot better as a plane model compared to the figures. It seems to make sense. Now this one's able to fit 2 figures inside of it, and as we saw before, these figures are roughly the same height. So it shouldn't be too much of a difference in terms of the size of the planes in, you know, how these figures fit in here. So yes, it's nice you can fit multiple figures inside of here, or you can fit Shaggy and Scooby, or just Scooby and maybe some other figure. Yes, Scooby fits in there sitting down, which is good. But I'm not really convinced about the small size of this. Compared to the minifigures, I would have thought maybe it would be a little bit bigger. But I also understand from a marketing perspective, LEGO did this so that they could make it a smaller, more affordable set for kids, and also make it easier for them to build. If we made everything as a model, like a model plane like this, if this was your set for LEGO, it would be much more expensive because there are lots more pieces used for it. Even this one uses upside down techniques. You can even see some of the studs on the underside. But this would be a lot more expensive for kids if you had everything else included, and it might have been a harder experience for them to build with it. So I'm okay with what LEGO chose for this set. Make it smaller, more affordable, easier to build. But overall, as a model, I think this one looks much better as a plane. Now again, not being familiar with planes. This one does, however, have more play features to make it more appealing as a toy. Remember, this is a toy. So you have the chain that you can attach onto the back so you can hang someone off of there. You have the little bombs you can drop that look like sandwiches, or maybe they are sandwiches. And you also have the plain propeller that can spin on the front and the wheels that can move. For the Cobi version, the propeller spins and the wheels move. That's it. You don't have any special bombs or anything, so it does look more accurate as a plane. It doesn't have the cartoonish, bombs of sandwiches dropping, but it doesn't really do a lot for play features. I mean, maybe the build makes up for it because it is a more interesting and sophisticated build where half of this is built upside down, as I mentioned before. But once you're done building it, that's all you can really do with it is move it around and spin the propeller. Well, setting the figure in there may count as a play feature, but here's the problem. Where the Lego version could fit 2 figures inside of here comfortably, and I say yes, Scooby fits in there quite comfortably. He was made to fit in there. The Cobi figures were not made to fit in the plane. Now, watch as I hold Shaggy like this. I'm going to keep his arms up so it's not a factor. I'm going to fit him in here. There was a chair inside of here. I'm going to try to fit him between the notches in the chair. Okay, see that? We'll see why that happened. So what we had there, this piece broke off because there was too much, squeezing between the pieces. The problem with Cobi figures is that the feet go outward. And as mentioned earlier, very different from Lego figures because they go out of the parameters of what these pieces are capable of holding. So every time you try to fit them in there, they're going to keep falling out. And that's something I noted in my review was a major problem. How are you going to fit a pilot in here if the pilot can't fit? Alright, maybe it's not just Shaggy. How about we try the skeleton too? Yep, same problem. See, it's more of I would like to say it's somewhere between the set designers or maybe the character designers who didn't quite collaborate on that account. But if we take the chair out of here, which fits perfectly in that same area, this chair is taken out now, and we try to fit these figures in again without a chair, and they don't have any stud attachments on the bottom of the figures. So let's see if they can at least sit in there comfortably. Well, it's a tight squeeze. See, they fit in there, but they want to jump out. Because, again, these feet are moving outward and therefore interrupt the parameter where they could fit. I'll try it again with Scooby, again to be sure it's not just one figure's fault. Yep, even he wants out. It's something that a certain somebody else noted when they reviewed the Cobi version of a Lego Scooby-Doo set, and the similar problem happened. The chairs were not quite lined up to fit with the figures. In fact, the space surrounding the chairs didn't fit with the figures. So there was a little bit of a problem there that I wanted to address. Again, for those who may not have seen that review, that's kind of a downer for this one. Now, if you did take the Lego version and put it in here, it would actually work pretty well. Well, maybe not for Scooby. It might be a little too big for that. It only has enough space for one figure, which is okay considering the plane, but I would have liked if some of this area was cut out so you could fit another figure in there. But if I fit Shaggy in here, he does attach to the studs, and you can see he can now fly the plane. So that's appropriate because he fits in there. Now, other than that, I think this one actually looks a little bit better for a plane, especially with the supports and the wings. If you look between the two of them, which one would you believe more as a plane? Yeah. The one from Lego has just this panel piece that's used and just makes a straight line. And again, not being an aviation expert, it just looks aesthetically not pleasing. Whereas the Cobi one does look more pleasing, although it is a little bit more fragile. You have 4 pieces that are put together on each side that hold up the wings on that side. They do have a tendency to bend a little bit and fall back, so you just have to be careful around that area. The wings are also the same length from top to bottom, whereas on the Lego one, they're different. And again, nothing known about planes. I don't know if that makes sense for the bottom one to be short and the top one to be large. The propellers are also interesting because the smaller plane has a larger propeller and the larger plane has a smaller propeller. I'm trying to figure out why, but I'm not really sure. Also wanted to note one last thing. The inversion of colors between these is pretty interesting. If you notice, the wings and a little bit on the back of the Cobi version has a lime green color to it, where the center has some mostly turquoise and some lime running through. The Lego version has the inverse, in which the azure is used on the wings on the front and back, and the middle is mainly used as lime green with a little bit of azure in there. It also has accents of orange, so it does seem a little bit more colorful and appealing. So there's a look at the two sets. These are the Cobi and Lego versions of the same relative model. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. No, I'm not trying to rip off anyone who did this previously. This was an idea I planned on for a while. If you check back on one of my whole videos, you can learn more about that. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it there. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time with more Lego videos. If you wanted to. Now, basing this episode on the Scooby-Doo show, this was, I believe, episode 112, according to what I found online, The Headless Horseman of Halloween.